When I finished packing and was about to leave, I happened to meet Eliza coming back with a smile the moment she saw me. Pulling a suitcase, her face immediately sank. "Are you throwing a tantrum at me? You're making a big deal out of such a trivial matter." She held out her hand, motioning for me to help her take off her high heels. When I didn't move, she rolled her eyes. "For God's sake, can you be more sensible? I'm the one supporting you. Now, is this how a kept man acts?" Hearing these words from the woman I once loved, I couldn't hold back the tears welling in my eyes. Eliza walked to the sofa and sat down, then casually ordered, "Fine, same old routine. Go cook me a bowl of noodles. I drank some wine today and didn't eat much." I ignored her and picked up the divorce agreement, handing it to her. "Let's get a divorce. Let me know when you're free to get the divorce certificate." Without turning her head, Eliza said, in a tone dripping with irritation, "Stop being dramatic. Okay, I just forgot you're allergic to peanuts. Julian is young, so it's normal for him to make occasional mistakes. Can you stop harping on it? Besides, you didn't die, did you? It wasn't even that serious. Julian joined the company last year. Ever since then, Eliza has often worked late at the office and not come home. At work, she transferred Julian to her team, and she even insists on taking him on business trips. Once, I cautiously asked if she was getting too close to Julian, but she lashed out at me, "Dirty mind. See everything as dirty. If I really had something with him, wouldn't I have made him my assistant by now?" But Julian wasn't even the point. Now I looked down and gave a bitter laugh. When I was still at the company, there was a team dinner where my peanut allergy almost sent me to the hospital. The next day, you posted banners all over the company, banning any dishes with peanuts at gatherings. Even if Julian was blind and didn't see them, what about you? Did you completely forget? She froze, her eyes filled with complex emotions, and didn't speak for a long time. Then she frowned and said, "Lucas, stop bringing up this embarrassing thing." Looking at Eliza's cold expression now, I extinguished the last flicker of hope. "In my heart, you're also allergic to food, and you know how serious it can be. Plus, the gift box packaging was the first game we ever made. Was he really not doing it on purpose?" Eliza's face turned ugly, and she snapped angrily, making a mountain out of a molehill. "Is forgetting your allergy a capital offense? What's wrong with Julian liking that game and using it for packaging? You have no house, no car, no savings. I'm already being kind by keeping you around, and now you're throwing a fit." My hand holding the suitcase trembled slightly. Seeing this, Eliza smirked triumphantly. "Scared? You're not a young pretty boy like Julian. You might not even get hired if you tried to sell yourself. Think about your age. If you leave me, you'll just have to cling to some old, ugly rich woman." After saying that, she walked up to me, took my hand, and said, in a falsely earnest tone, "Honey, just stay home and do the chores while helping me with the plans. Stop making a scene." We'd had fierce arguments before, but as soon as Eliza frowned, I'd immediately start trying to placate her. But now, looking at her face, I only felt a deep sense of revulsion. I shook off her hand and stared at her expressionlessly. "I'm not making a scene. Call me when you're free, and let's get the divorce registered as soon as possible." Then I pushed open the door and strode outside. Behind me, Eliza angrily grabbed a set of keys and threw them at me. "If you walk out today, even if you come crawling back to beg me later, I'll never forgive you. Your parents died ages ago. Where else do you think you can go?" Hearing Eliza's words, my heart ached as if cut by a knife. When Eliza first heard that my parents had died in a car accident when I was a child, she'd hugged me and cried, saying she'd stay by my side forever. But now she was using that very fact to stab me in the heart. Eliza and I met in college. I won first place in a programming design competition held by the school. After receiving the trophy, Eliza stopped me. She smiled and held out her hand. "Hi, Lucas, I'm Elisa. Want to be friends?" From then on, Elisa became a constant presence in my life. She pitied me for being orphaned, and I sympathized with her troubled family background. After graduating from college, I earned my first pot of gold by developing a software application. Finally feeling confident that I could provide a good life for Eliza, I proposed to her. After getting married, I started my own game development company. I led the team day and night in research, development, and debugging. The day the game was released, it became a huge hit. I got dead drunk and hugged Eliza, saying I could finally give her a good life, but the good times didn't last. Just 3 days after the game's release, I was accused of plagiarism. The other party produced source code claiming we'd copied it, and that exact part had been done by Eliza. Eliza burst into tears, saying she'd done it out of fear of holding me back and that she would apologize publicly on social media, but she added that she was too ashamed to come home or face me, so she might as well die standing on the rooftop. With tearful eyes, Eliza looked at me and said she'd be my wife in the next life. I pleaded hoarsely with her not to do anything stupid, promising to take full responsibility for everything, so I took the blame for plagiarism on Eliza's behalf. Facing accusations from the team, I could only stay silent. I worked day and night to quickly redo the part Eliza had done. The game was re-released, and Eliza publicly announced that I had quit the company and sincerely apologized. The company cleared its name, but I was reviled by everyone. I became like a rat hiding in the shadows, forced to stay at home and secretly advised the company behind her back. Eliza's parents had never approved of me. They'd wanted her to marry a wealthy man, and my presence had shattered their hopes. Later, when my small company started doing well, they began to treat me better. But now that I'd quit the company, due to plagiarism, and Eliza had become the boss, her family looked down on me even more. They called every day, urging Eliza to divorce me, but Eliza refused. She'd hug me and cry, saying she was sorry for making me take the blame and that she'd be good to me forever and never leave me. At the time, I just thought it was a relief that she wasn't the one facing the online harassment. But later, Eliza grew colder and colder toward me, coming home less and less. Every time she got drunk, she'd shout at me, saying she was too ashamed to mention my name to her friends, afraid they'd find out she'd married a plagiarist. I didn't know what to say. I'd agreed to take the blame myself, so what right did I have to complain? This year, Eliza sent me a mooncake gift box and texted that she'd take me home for dinner the next day. I thought we could start over and regain our former love, but I was wrong. She didn't care that Julian was using that game to provoke me on purpose. She didn't care that my allergy had sent me into shock. She didn't care about me at all. Our marriage had probably been a mistake from the start. The day after moving out, I began looking for a job, but with the plagiarism scandal hanging over me, which company would dare hire me? I slumped dejectedly on the sofa and turned on the TV to distract myself, only to be bombarded by Mid-Autumn Festival reunion ads and movies everywhere. With no parents or relatives, I sat alone in my rental apartment, envying others' happiness, and grief welled up until I couldn't hold back my tears. Just then, my phone kept pinging with messages from an unknown number. Lucas, our company's interview live stream is about to start. Remember to watch. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. I'm now Eliza's personal assistant, but since you had the sense to step down on your own, I'll hold back from scolding you. Just watch carefully. I tuned to the channel and saw Eliza's smiling face appear. On screen, standing beside employee Julian No, now her assistant. The reporter fired questions, and Eliza handled them with ease until one came. General Manager Eliza, it said you were married to the plagiarist from your company, don't you? Feel disgusted having such a person as your partner? Is this plagiarist still involved with the company? Eliza's smile froze. She looked down, lost in thought, then raised her head with a look of disdain. Plagiarists are hated by all. We're already divorced. She then took Julian's hand with a smile. Julian and I are now a couple. He has strong professional skills. Everyone can look forward to our new game launching soon. Amidst gasps from the audience, Julian shyly smiled at the camera, vowing to cherish Eliza. After the interview, the screen switched to ads. Staring blankly at the TV, I was overwhelmed by mixed emotions when Eliza called, feeling better now. Signation, I'd endured it for Eliza's sake always. Rushing to their beck and call, bringing gifts and forced smiles during festivals. But no more. At the word plagiarism, Eliza looked uneasy. She finally approached and tugged at me. Look how upset you've made my family. Go buy something nice and apologize. I shook off her hand, flipped the table, and dumpling fillings and dough spilled over it. Julian lunged to shout at me, but I grabbed a broom and knocked him to the floor. Then I yelled for the people outside to come in. Ethan and 5 others stormed in, silent as they surrounded Julian. I hauled him up. Still want to insult me? Go ahead. Where's that snide attitude now? I've never seen a mistress so brazen. I threw him to the floor and kicked him several times. Eliza's parents clutched their chests in outrage. This is outrageous. Lucas, how dare you? Eliza, divorce him now. How dare you cause a scene here? You leech off our daughter and act like this. Well, make her disown you. I scoffed and stepped toward her parents. Who do you two think you are? I grabbed a flour sack and threw it in their faces, coating them in white. They looked absurd, sputtering and coughing. Next, I turned to Eliza's brother. He trembled in fear, knelt down with a thud, and clung to my legs, begging for mercy. After I kicked him away, he kept kowtowing and loudly cursed Eliza and her parents, shouting that none of this would have happened if not for them. Disgusted by this family, I ignored Eliza, who was frozen in shock in the corner, and turned to Ethan and the others, signaling it was time to begin. They each held a phone, opened live streams, and positioned themselves in every corner facing the camera. I said, "Hello everyone, many of you have likely recognized General Manager Eliza behind me. I am the divorced plagiarist partner she mentioned in yesterday's interview." Elisa's eyes filled with panic when she heard this. She lunged forward to smash the live streaming phone, but I stopped her and continued. Now I need to correct a few things. 1. General Manager Eliza and I are not yet divorced. She is having an affair during our marriage, and the other man is Julian. 2. All games released by the company in the past 5 years include my ideas and planning. 3. Before I could finish the third point, Eliza hugged me, shaking her head wildly. Honey, stop, we still love each other. Why take this so far? Seeing that I intended to continue, she grabbed a knife and held it to her throat. If you say another word, you're forcing me to die. She then signaled her parents and brother to rush forward and create chaos. As the scene spiraled out of control, I gestured for everyone to turn off the live streams. The Elizas were ruthless and relentless. Once they latched onto something, it would be hard to break free. I didn't care about myself, but I couldn't let my friends, who had come to help, get dragged into trouble. Besides, 5 years had passed, and many people no longer recognized me. Even if I spoke out, the hype would die down quickly. My top priority now was to re-enter the gaming industry and rebuild my reputation. When Eliza saw me turn off the live stream, she thought I'd been moved by her "we still love each other" plea. She put down the knife, approached me, and resumed her haughty tone. Lucas, I know you acted on impulse just now. Have you forgotten how much we loved each other? Stop making a scene. I swear I'll keep my distance from Julian. But look what you've done to my family and Julian. Apologize to them. I couldn't help laughing. Eliza, do you not understand the word divorce? What's wrong? Afraid no one will provide free ideas and planning once I'm gone. I'm telling you, there's no going back. I feel sick just looking at you. If you don't agree, just wait to be sued. With that, I left Eliza's home with Ethan and our friends. I took a long, relieved breath. It was the first time in 5 years I'd felt so liberated. Elisa chased after me. I motioned for my friends to go ahead. Frowning at me, she said with disappointment in her eyes, Lucas, you've really hurt me today. Can't you apologize for my sake? It's the Madatum Festival, a time for family reunion. Must you ruin it for everyone? I scoffed at her words. Eliza, do you think I'll forgive you unconditionally, no matter what you do? Let me be clear, you sicken me now. Elisa stared at me in shock, mouth half open, as if unable to believe I'd say such a thing. Looking her in the eye, I added firmly, so stop embarrassing yourself. Even if you beg on your knees, I'm getting this divorce. Her gaze wavered, and she softened her tone. I know you're just angry. Calm down first. Call me when you've cooled off. I didn't want to waste another moment on someone so unreasonable, and turned to leave downstairs. Everyone else had left except Ethan, who was waiting for me. Aside from Eliza and me, Ethan was the only one who knew I'd taken the plagiarism blame for her back then. He tried to stop me, furious. Are you crazy? Do you plan to quit this industry forever? Do you know how damaging a plagiarism scandal is to my friend's accusation? I'd only said she can't handle the backlash. I'm her husband after all. Ethan had called me a fool and quit to start his own company. Now he was the only one willing to help me. When he saw me, he clapped my shoulder hard. Glad you finally came to your senses. What's next? Looking at him sincerely, I said, looking for a job. I want to get back into gaming. Not sure if any company will hire me. He threw an arm around me. Forget job hunting. Join my company. I trust your skills. And so I joined Ethan's company. Though I'd spent the past 5 years advising Elisa from home, my abilities hadn't faded. I completed the framework and system designs in record time. After rigorous testing, the game met launch standards. We quickly built hype across platforms, only for Eliza to show up at Ethan's company. Lucas, you're working for Ethan now. Haven't you caused enough trouble back when your plagiarism scandal was blowing up and the company was in crisis? Ethan left to start his own company. His own business now, you're helping him. Irritated, I'd already blocked her calls and messages. I snapped, move aside if you have nothing to say. Don't interfere with my work. Julian, standing beside her, looked afraid but still chimed in for her. Eliza is so busy yet she came to see you. How ungrateful can you be? She supported you for 5 years and now you're joining a rival company. You're such an ingrate. I sneered at them. The ingrate isn't me. Brushing past them, I headed into the company. Behind me, Eliza shouted, Lucas, if I reveal what happened 5 years ago, your team will never accept you. Must it come to this? Waving her off without looking back, I said, go ahead, you've got no shame anyway. Truthfully, I wasn't worried about her threats. I hadn't plagiarized, she should be ashamed. She thought 5 years had erased the evidence, but she was in for a disappointment. I turned back to work, preparing for the game's launch. After finishing all pre-launch tasks, I headed home, only to find Eliza still waiting at the company gate. Seeing me, she hurried over. Lucas, can we talk properly? Let's set aside our anger and have an honest conversation. Nodded. Say what you need to say quickly. I don't have time to waste. I want to go home and rest. She frowned. You never used to mind wasting time on me before. Anyway, I see Ethan's company is launching a new game tomorrow. I nodded but stayed silent. She glared at me. You always take sides against me. How long has it been since you two even spoke? And now you're helping him." Then noticing my wrinkled shirt, she sighed. "Look at you. Can't even afford a nanny without me. Your clothes are all wrinkled. Stop being stubborn. Julian isn't even bothering you, right? Let's make up. We've never stayed mad at each other this long." Eliza now sounded as gentle as she did when we first got together, but her words made me sick. I looked at her and said firmly, "Eliza, it's over. I'm not throwing a tantrum. I really want a divorce. For the first time, I feel light and free, and I don't have to cater to your family just to please you." She frowned and retorted, "Impossible. You loved me so much you took the plagiarism blame for me. If you don't want to work from home, come to my company, I'll give you a position. No one will know about the plagiarism. We can commute together, buy groceries together, go shopping together, just like we used to." I shook my head and cut her off. "Elisa, I don't want that. All I want now is a divorce." Her face froze. She grabbed the hem of my shirt and said anxiously, "Is this all because I asked Julian to prepare mooncakes for you? Is such a tiny thing worth this tantrum? I already apologize for you. My family and Julian don't hold it against you anymore." When I stayed silent, she sighed impatiently. "Lucas, you're too old for petty tantrums. Julian and I just appreciate each other professionally. And if I report your plagiarism, you'll never work at Ethan's company again. So why not just stay home and help me? Let's not take this too far." I scoffed. "Elisa, don't, on one condition. I had to come home and eat a bowl of noodles she made, just like in our newlywed days." After a moment's hesitation, I agreed. At home, Eliza was unusually cheerful, telling me to wait on the sofa. She was clearly rusty in the kitchen. There were constant startled cries from inside. I ignored her, focused only on getting her to sign the divorce papers. Eventually, she emerged with a bowl of noodles. "Honey, you always made me noodles after I drank. Today I made some for you," she said. I took a bite as she watched expectantly. "Do you like them, honey?" Ignoring her, I pulled out the divorce agreement. "You said you'd sign after I ate. Let's get this over with." Her smile faded. "Honey, can't you give me one more chance?" Seeing my resolve, she began to cry again. "I know I was wrong. You're just jealous of Julian, aren't you? You think I'm dirty because we shared a room. Please let me make it right." Before I could speak, she called toward the bedroom. "Come out now." A girl in revealing clothes stepped out. I stood up, wary. Elisa glanced at me defiantly, then snapped at the girl. "Consider it a bargain for you today. Serve my husband well, and promotions and raises will follow." She turned back to me, begging, "Husband, if you're bothered by me sleeping with Julian, I'll let you sleep with someone else too, okay? This is a young girl from my company," I asked. "She's never had a boyfriend. Let's call it even. Forgive me, and don't divorce me, please." I trembled with rage, pointing at Eliza and struggling to speak calmly. "Are you insane, Eliza? Do you think everyone is like you? This is ridiculous. You make me sick. Just wait for the divorce lawsuit." As I pushed past her to leave, she exchanged a glance with the girl, and they both blocked the door, grabbing me tightly. I snapped at them, "I'll call the police if you keep this up. Have you no shame?" But they clung to me, refusing to let go, losing patience. I picked up my phone to dial the police. The girl, seeing I was serious, released me and knelt down, tearful. "I'm sorry, sir. Please don't call the police. I was wrong. Eliza said she'd fire me if I didn't do this. My dad is in the hospital. I can't lose this job." Eliza glared at the girl, shouting, "Stop pretending to be innocent. You agreed to this yourself. If you were really chaste, would you have said yes?" She ordered the girl to get dressed and leave. After the girl left, Eliza knelt and hugged my legs, wailing, "I really know I was wrong. Husband, please forgive me. We've been together for 10 years. I can't live without you." Looking at Eliza, gasping for breath at my feet, I closed my eyes to suppress the ache in my heart. We'd dated for 5 years and been married for 5. We'd hardly ever been apart. I took a deep breath and said, "I never imagined you'd become like this. I don't regret meeting you, being with you, or taking the plagiarism blame for you back then, but now I don't love you anymore. Let's set each other free." Eliza collapsed to the floor, tears streaming down her face. "I beg you, don't stop loving me. I know I was wrong, and I shouldn't have done that just now. I swear I'll change. Please don't divorce me. I really can't live without you." I'd never seen Eliza cry like this, but I didn't comfort her. If I couldn't feel her love, then it wasn't love. She was just accustomed to having me around. I knelt to meet her gaze. "We're not the same people who fell in love. You were the first." To lose focus, Eliza clung to my shirt helplessly. "Please, husband, I'll change. My family never liked me, and now that I've lost my job, they've disowned me. You're all I have. Please don't leave me." I shook my head firmly. "This has to end. If you keep clinging on, I'll only resent you more." Eliza stared at me, her eyes hollow. She buried her face in her hands, sobbing, tears dripping through her fingers. Finally, She understood my resolve and tremblingly signed the divorce agreement. After the divorce, I threw myself into work, leading the team to achieve remarkable results. Ethan was so pleased he promoted me twice in a row. With half the marital assets, my life was comfortable. The next time I heard about Julian, I barely remembered who he was. News of him being the other man reached his family. His father chased him down the street with a belt, shouting he no longer had a son. Julian struggled to find work. No company wanted an employee with such scandals. He holed up in his rental, drinking heavily, and often demanded money from Eliza, blaming her for his downfall. When Eliza reported him for extortion, Julian was arrested. Not long after, Eliza's brother called me. "When are you going to see Eliza? She can't get through to you. She's a mess every day." Ugh, I wouldn't bother passing on her message if she didn't give me money. I didn't respond, hung up, and blocked his number. Eliza's life was no longer my concern. Days later, I was transferred to manage a branch office. As I packed, an unknown number called. I hesitated but answered. Eliza's voice came through. "Husband, I'm so sorry for everything. I finally understand how painful allergies can be. I feel what you felt back then. Please forgive me." Her tone sounded off, and I pressed her. "Where are you? What are you doing?" She laughed faintly. "You care about me, don't you? I ate a lot of strawberries at home. Now I know what it's like to struggle for breath from an allergy. Come back to me. Let's remarry." I hung up and rushed out. No matter her mistakes, Eliza didn't deserve to die. An hour later, Ethan called from the airport. "Don't worry, she's in the hospital. Go start your new position with peace of mind." Eliza grabbed the phone, wailing, "Husband, do you hate me too? Why won't you come?" I paused and said earnestly, "Eliza, your life is your own. What you're doing hurts only yourself. Don't contact me again." Hanging up, I looked at the clear blue sky, feeling profoundly at ease.